Hello, boys and girls. I'm here to read a story to you, and it's a great story, and I'm excited to read it. But before I do, I had to think a little bit. There's a word in there that I don't like. In fact, I worked really hard not to say this word anymore because I didn't know that it was really a mean word and that I could hurt somebody's feelings. So I don't say it anymore. So as I read this story, I hope you don't mind if I use a different word, but it's still a great story. It is called Julius, the Baby of the World, and it was written by Kevin Hankus. Before Julius was born, Lily was the best big sister in the whole world. She gave him things, she told him secrets, and she sang lullabies to him every night. After Julius was born, it was a different story. Lily took all of her things back, she pinched his tail, and she yelled insulting and mean things to him in the crib. "I am the queen," said Lily, "and I do not like Julius." Oh, but her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose. Oh, and they loved his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Lily thought his pink nose was slimy. She thought his small black eyes were beady, and she thought his sweet white fur was, well, not so sweet, especially when he needed his diaper changed. "Julius is the baby of the world," said his parents. "Ugh, disgusting," said Lily. And Lily had to share her room with Julius. "After Julius goes away, do I get my room back?" she asked. "Oh, honey, Julius isn't going anywhere." And he didn't. He stayed and he stayed and he stayed. Lily was supposed to be quiet while Julius slept. "After Julius goes away, can I talk to it like a normal person again?" she shouted. "Honey, Julius isn't going anywhere." And he didn't. He stayed and he stayed and he stayed. "Oh, we love you, Julius. You're so beautiful, Julius." "We want Julius to grow up as extraordinary as you are," said Lily's mother. "So we must tell him that constantly. We must tell him how beautiful he is and how much we love him." When no one was looking, Lily had her own ideas. "And I don't like you, Julius. Oh, you're not beautiful. You're not cute at all." A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3. "We want Julius to grow up to be as clever and as smart as you are," said Lily's father. "So we must sing him his numbers and letters whenever possible." Again, when no one was looking, Lily had her own ideas. 3, 8, 5, 9, 6, A, J, K, Z. Oh my goodness. Lily's parents were more than a bit doubtful about leaving the two of them in the room alone together. Lily tried to frighten Julius with her nifty disguises. She learned magic and tried to make him disappear. Poof! When they didn't work, she just pretended he didn't even exist. Lily spent more time than usual in the uncooperative chair, the time-out chair. Lily's parents showered her with hugs and kisses and treats of all shapes and sizes. They even let her stay up 15 minutes later every night. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. "I am the queen," said Lily, "and I do not like Julius." But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. "Julius is the baby of the world," said Lily's parents. "Disgusting," said Lily. Lily's parents were amused when Julius blew bubbles. "Can you believe it?" they said. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they would say, "Lily, let's mind our manners, please." Lily's parents were just dazzled when Julius babbled and gurgled. "Oh, such a vocabulary!" they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, "Lily, let's act our age, please." Lily's parents were amazed when Julius screamed, "Oh, what lung capacity he has!" But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, "Lily, let's restrain ourselves. Let's use our indoor voice, please." One morning, while Lily was busy playing opera, her mother said, "Why don't you put some of that verbal exuberance to good use? Why don't you tell Julius a nice story?" "Oh, he's too little to understand," said Lily. "He can understand in his own way," said Lily's mother. "Okay," said Lily, smiling. "Julius, the germ of the world by me," said Lily. "Once upon a time, there was a baby. His name was Julius. Julius was really a germ. Julius was like dust under your bed. If he was a number, he would be 0. And if he was a food, he would be a raisin. 0 is nothing, and a raisin tastes like dirt. The end," said Lily. Guess what? That story earned her 10 minutes in the uncooperative chair. Time out again. Lily warned her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor, about babies. "Trust me, they're dreadful," she said. She even warned strangers about babies, too. "You will live to regret that bump under your dress," she said. Oh my goodness. Lily ran away 7 times in one morning. "I'm really leaving this time," she called. "Who knows where they'll find me this time?" The same afternoon, Lily had a tea party, and everyone came. Everyone but Julius. "His invitation must have gotten lost in the mail," said Lily. "I don't think so." Lily had glorious dreams about Julius. Oh! And ghastly nightmares. Oh my goodness! Lily's parents showered her with compliments and praise and all sorts of nice things in all shapes and sizes. They even let her drink her juice out of the antique china cup. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. "I am the queen," said Lily, "and I don't like Julius." But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes. and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. When Lily's mother felt up to it, she planned a festive celebration in honor of Julius. All the relatives came. There was quite a spread. What's the big deal, said Lily. Haven't they seen a silly lump before? Well, apparently not. All afternoon, the relatives hovered over Julius. Oh, they kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes. And they stroked his sweet white fur. Disgusting, said Cousin Garland. What? Said Lily. Julius, said Cousin Garland. I think his wet pink nose is slimy. And I think his small black eyes are beady. And I think his sweet white fur, well, is not so sweet. And he needs his diaper changed. Lily's nose twitched. Her eyes narrowed. And her fur stood on end and her tail quivered. You're talking about my brother, said Lily. And for your information, his nose is shiny, his eyes are sparkly, and his fur smells like perfume. Cousin Garland was speechless. He can blow bubbles, he can babble and gurgle, and he can scream better than anyone else. Cousin Garland tried to slink away out of the room. Stop, said Lily. I am the queen. Watch me closely. Lily picked up Julius. She kissed his wet pink nose. She admired his small black eyes, and she stroked his sweet white fur. Your turn, said Lily, handing Julius over to Cousin Garland. Kiss, admire, stroke, Lily commanded. Now repeat after me, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. Julius is the baby of the world? Said Cousin Garland. Louder, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. And from then on, he was, in everyone's opinion, especially in Lily's. What a great story.